Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Afita Nuliani, and this video is to present the final term project for classroom management lecture in the topic of teaching tolerance. So in this part one, we are going to talk about teaching tolerance in classroom management. To simply put this means that creating a classroom where every single student feels respected, feels accepted and valued. And also, why does this matter for managing a classroom? It because research consistently shows that students learn best and behave better when they feel emotionally safe. And it is not just about enforcing the rules, it's about building a positive relationships so students actually want to engage in the classroom environment. Next, there are four main concepts to a tolerant classroom. First is respect for diversity. It helps students understand that our differences makes us unique and should never be a reason to leave someone out. And next is empathy. It teaches the kids to step into someone else's shoes, and this is the tool for stopping the bullying and building real friendships. And next is inclusions. It means ensuring every student has equal opportunities to participate regardless of differences. And last is equity. It recognizes that fair doesn't always mean equal. It means giving each individual student the specific support they need to succeed. So this slide shows the characteristics of a tolerant classroom. So if we walked into a tolerant classroom, we would see students listening to each other without interrupting, and we will hear different opinions being welcomed, and any teasing or bullying is stopped immediately. And most importantly, we will see conflicts being solved through talking, through negotiation, and problem solving rather than the teacher just handing out the punishments. And it's an environment built on kindness and also fairness. Next is strategies for teaching tolerance. First strategy is to establish community agreements, means that teachers can involve students in creating classroom agreements about respectful behavior. Since students help to create these agreements, they are more likely to accept and being responsibility to following them. And strategy two is model respectful behavior. Teachers are powerful role models for students, and obviously they observe how teachers communicate, solve problems, and also respond to mistakes. And strategy number three is to use cooperative learning, and it encourages students from different backgrounds to work together towards shared goals. Okay, strategy number four is to encourage classroom discussions. Teachers should create opportunities for these discussions because they help students practice to express their opinions respectfully while listening to different viewpoints. And strategy number five is to address bias immediately. Bias, stereotypes, or discriminatory comments should never be ignored because silence may suggest acceptance. Instead, teachers should respond calmly by encouraging critical thinking. And last is to teach conflict resolution because conflicts naturally occur in classrooms. Instead of viewing conflict as purely negative, teachers can use it as an opportunity to teach communication and problem-solving skills. Next is benefits of teaching tolerance. And for the students, they build better communication skills, stronger friendships, and also they will have greater emotional intelligence. And for teachers, classroom management becomes so much easier because we spend less time putting out behavioral fires and more time actually teaching. And for the school as a whole, it creates a massive drop in bullying and builds a deeply positive and inclusive culture. Challenges in teaching tolerance. Of course, teachers face challenges such as students often bring stereotypes from home or society directly into the classroom, and there can be cultural misunderstandings or language barriers, and teachers might even have to fight their own unconscious biases. Plus, there is always the pressure of limited time and the awkwardness of discussing sensitive topics, but these challenges are exactly why teaching tolerance is so necessary. And to wrap things up, teaching tolerance is not just an extra thing teachers do. It is very foundation of running classroom effectively. Instead of just focusing on strict discipline and also punishment, we focus on empathy, fairness, and also inclusion. By doing this, we are not just making our classrooms run smoother, we are also helping students to develop the social skills they need to be respectful and responsible citizens in the real world tomorrow. This slide shows the references that I use. Okay, next is part 2 about case study. So let's start with our first case. Mrs. Johnson has a fifth grade student named Alex, and he is frequently aggressive. He interrupts, he talks back, and sometimes gets physical with classmates, and standard rules and private chats haven't worked. So strategy for Mrs. Johnson is to giving him space because when kids are angry, they just need time for that feeling to pass. And Mrs. Johnson can create a safe space in the room where Alex can step away to calm down before he reaches the point of aggression. And strategy number 2 is to teach emotional expression. A lot of kids act out because they don't have the vocabulary to say, like, I'm frustrated, I'm angry. And if Mrs. Johnson makes talking about feelings in a daily classroom topic, Alex can learn ways to express his anger using words rather than actions. And strategy number 3 is to use distraction and amusement. And uh, if Mrs. Johnson says Alex getting worked up, she can change the dynamic with a light-hearted distraction or a joke because this can snap him out of his frustration and de-escalate the situation instantly. And case study number 2 is Mr. Smith is dealing with students that are not attempting to follow his instructions or directions because multiple students are disengaged. Strategies for Mr. Smith is to correct their behavior he should systematically deal with the off-task behavior where he can design a specific learning activity so he can continue the to lecture while moving near the off-task students, like making eye contact or gently touching their desk to redirect their attention without verbally disrupting his lesson. And two is to control the time and place for intervention. Mr. Smith should achieve a productive interchange by addressing the misbehavior in a private conference with the students to ensure that he controls the time and place for dealing with the issue. And last is to break the routine to prevent the boredom. Mr. Smith must break his routine to make the classroom more exciting and inviting, like he can do by using games, audiovisual techniques like discussion, group work, or any relevant source for that daily. Okay, case study number three and last. It's about Miss Brown, who is facing challenges with a student named Jake because he exhibits disruptive behavior in class, like talking out of turn, making inappropriate comments, and also distracting other students. Here are the strategies that Ms. Brown can use. First is to address the behavior without stopping the lesson. Like Miss Brown should continue her explanation without missing a word, like walk over to Jake and pick up his papers and silently motion him to follow her to a vacant desk in another part of the room. Second is to conduct a frank and private conference. Miss Brown should not embrace him publicly. Instead, she should call him in for a private conference to explain exactly how his cloning is making it difficult for her to do her job and request for his cooperation. And last is to implement a behavioral contract where she can draw a contract regarding the classroom behavior. She should ask Jack to read and sign the contract to establish the norms and expectations so he knows exactly what behavior is required going forward. So to wrap up, this case studies show us that there is not really a fit approach to classroom management. We have to match the strategy to the behavior, and by using tools like safe spaces for aggression, private contracts for disruption, and proximity for off-task students, teachers can regain control of their classrooms and create a better environment for everyone. And that's it. Thank you for listening and have a good day.